So I wanted to read to you guys 2 pages from my book, Fishy Flux or the Influx Piscean Ponderings. I was born in St. Paul, Minnesota, so for the reference. Location, St. Paul, MN. The frozen Mississippi doesn't care about your heart arrhythmias. It just keeps moving under the ice. Astrological DNA, Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Uranus all in Pisces, 11th house, Moon, Jupiter, and Vertex in Libra, 6th house, Taurus ascendant, North Node in Aries, 12th house. Here's my individualized astrological autopsy, the chart they didn't read at my birth. I am a walking 11th house Pisces stellium, drowning in the collective unconscious before I could swim. My Sun, my Mercury, my mind, my Venus, my love, all conjoined with Uranus, the planet of shocking revolutions and chaotic awakenings, in the house of friends, groups, and future dreams. My dream was to dissolve, to become one with the fog over the river. My father, an Aries sun, a conqueror of dinner tables, his fire scorching any boundary I tried to form. My mother, a Sagittarius sun with a Virgo ascendant, the philosopher trapped in the critic's body, her spirit tethered to his rage by a Stockholm syndrome so deep it felt like a karmic contract. She provided the substrate of anxiety, Virgo rising, and he provided the flame. I absorbed it all. I became a Libra moon in the 6th house of daily routine and sickness, desperately trying to bring peace, to create balance where none existed, by offering up my own body as the bargaining chip. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is right there with my moon retrograde. My coping mechanism wasn't just to cope, it was to blow the suffering up to mythic operatic proportions, to make the pain meaningful through its sheer, excessive scale. The early stuff, the poor vision in 3rd grade, that's Saturn, the restrictor, retrograde in Cancer in my 3rd house of early learning and the senses, squaring my Libra moon, Jupiter. A literal and metaphorical construction of sight, of how I could perceive my world, a lesson in limitation taught through blurry chalkboards. The promiscuity at 12 with my female best friend, Pluto, lord of the taboo and transformation in my 8th house of sex, death, and shared trauma. Lilith, the wild, untamed feminine, conjunct Saturn in that 3rd house, my early expressions, 3rd of desire and rebellion, Lilith, were condemned and shamed, Saturn, by the environment, twisted into secrets before they could be truths. I learned to merge Pluto in 8th as a way to feel real, to feel power, long before I knew what any of it meant. So Benadryl, something I was addicted to for a very long time, for reference, from the ages of 16 to 19 years old. It made my heart race. Benadryl, the allergy medicine I abused for months before going to rehab. Okay, so I keep using it even if I feel like it'll shock me into cardiac arrest, and even before that happens, I struggle with cardiac arrhythmias. But here's the sick divine joke. My vertex, a point of fated encounters and soul-altering lessons, is at 24 degrees Libra, conjunct my expansive Jupiter and opposite my North Node in Aries in the 12th. The vertex screams, your destiny is tied to your suffering. It squares Saturn and Lilith, the exact configuration of my early shame. The medicine that makes me sick is the fulcrum of my fate. I am astrologically doomed to overdose on the symbol of my own allergic reaction to this life. Allergic to the father's fire, allergic to the mother's muted grief, allergic to the body I was given that never felt like mine, hence the detransition. A desperate Mars in Capricorn, 9th house of belief, attempt to rebuild a self from the skeleton up. Mars scores my Jupiter and opposes my Saturn. Every act of will, Mars, meets either catastrophic expansion, Jupiter, or brutal limitation, Saturn. Rebuild, collapse, rebuild, collapse. It made me think about songs I haven't listened to in a while or have never once in my life thought about listening to in my spare time, talking about when I was high on Benadryl here. This part goes blue dabba Kids Bop covers of my favorite songs or rap songs to see what gets bleeped out. It's Raining Men, Laffy Taffy, Soulja Boy's entire discography, EDM, Deadmau5, Avicii, David Guetta, reckless behavior, but not only the musical pleasure, it let me focus on movies and TV and concentrate, struggling with ADHD. Until a couple hours in when the pills start reaching their fullest potential and I'm trapped, stuck, can't go back, and begin to throw up to feel better. I've strapped myself on a ride that is filled with daggers and axes ready to be swung at my head at full motherfucking speed, and there's no stopping. This is the Neptune in Aquarius in my 10th house, conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. Neptune dissolves, Aquarius universalizes. My public fate, 10th, my career, my reputation, is fused with a generational wound, Chiron in Aquarius, around disillusionment with systems, with technology, with the future. It trines my Libra moon, Jupiter. The pathway to numbing is effortless, graceful even. I don't just get high, I conduct a symphony of dissociation, the music piped directly from the collective technological unconscious. The ADHD focus? Mercury in Pisces, ungrounded, receiving everything, filtering nothing, finally forced into a singular, horrifying channel by the poison. There is no, please stop, please get me off your insane, traumatizing ride. Nobody can hear your moans, screams, and moments of complete weakness better than your own soul, who's crushed that they developed into a drug addict who somehow constantly has poison in their system, instead of living out that hippie dream and buying that cute RV to travel in. Maybe I would have done a little magic mushrooms or some acid to open my eyes up while I'm out on the road discovering the earth and myself. But allergy medicine? Medicine that says take one a day, but taking several for shits and giggles? The hippie dream is my 11th house Pisces stellium's true calling. To lose oneself in the beautiful, the mystical, the collective dream. But my north node, my soul's destination, this lifetime, is in Aries in the 12th house. Not the collective, but the isolated, warrior self in the realm of the unseen. Not dissolving into the group, 11th, but forging an identity in solitude, 12th. Not Piscean compassion, but Aryan fire turned inward. The journey is from poisoning myself with the collective's remedies, Benadryl for the societal allergy, to facing the raw, undiluted spirit in the cell of my own solitude. I want to turn back time every single day I'm here. It's all I think of, changing the time, backward and backward and backward, never ever forward, no need to go forward. Must go back to doing nothing, in the womb of my ma, just sloshing around in there, not doing anything but eating the Subway sandwiches she can't stop eating, and the watermelon, which I've grown to despise. To go back, Saturn, the timekeeper, retrograde in Cancer, to return to the womb, Cancer, before time, Saturn, began. To before the chart was cast, to before the Aries father and the Sagittarius mother made a Pisces child, who would have to learn, through near-fatal doses of over-the-counter poison, that her salvation lies not in going back, not in dissolving, but in the forward march, however agonizing, toward a fierce and lonely dawn, Aries North Node. To become the spirit that keeps reviving her, the undisclosed source, to realize the babysitter and the baby are the same, and they don't get paid. It's just the job, the only one that matters. And next I'll be reading, yep, this is the right one, The Piscean Ponderings, an astrological autopsy of drowning. Location: the third-floor bedroom of a split level in St. Paul, Minnesota. The air tastes like stale smoke, fogged vape residue, and the metallic tang of a cosmic joke. My body, the crime scene. My chart, the warrant. They say Pisces is the ocean. They're fucking liars. Pisces is the drain, the grimy final swirl where everything, the Aries father's fury, the Sagittarius mother's unlived philosophies, the Libra moon's desperate pleas for fairness, coalesces into a single sucking vortex. My 11th house isn't a sanctuary of friends. It's a black hole of collective longing, and I was born at its event horizon. Sun, Pisces, 809 degrees. 11th house, conjunct Venus, conjunct Uranus. The core wound is a fusion of identity, Sun, love, Venus, and chaos, Uranus. To love is to annihilate the self. To be is to be electrified into dissolution. My first kiss at 12 with my best friend, Elle, in her canopy bed, wasn't curiosity. It was a Venus-Uranus lightning strike in a house of groups, a shocking, aberrant merger to feel something in the collective field of adolescent girls. It was love as a destabilizing agent, a way to short-circuit my own numbness. Our tongues were probes searching for a self in the other's mouth. We weren't making love, we were performing a frantic, wet autopsy on the concept of girl, trying to find where our assigned gender ended and our spirits began. It was less sapphic romance and more mutual drowning, a prelude to the later, more literal chemical drownings. Moon, Libra, 614 degrees. 6th house, square Mars, Capricorn, 14.7 degrees. 9th house, the body is a battleground where peace is a lie. My Libra moon, needing harmony, placation, beauty, is in the house of daily work and sickness. It's square to Mars and Capricorn in the 9th, the house of belief, law, and long journeys, means my physical and emotional peace, moon 6th, is perpetually at war with a harsh, disciplined drive for control over my own destiny, Mars 9th. The detransition was this aspect made flesh. It wasn't a quiet realization. It was a Mars and Capricorn project, a brutal, surgical undoing of a previous, equally desperate attempt to find a Libra moon balance outside the body. I traded one costume of suffering for another, each change a violent swing of Mars' sword, trying to carve a self that my moon could finally relax in. The promiscuity, Mars square moon, fucking as a form of warfare, a way to dominate the scenario of intimacy before my moon's need for connection could make me vulnerable. Get them before they get you. Use their desire as a mirror that only reflects the parts you can stomach. Mercury, Pisces, 1831 degrees. 11th house, square Pluto, Sagittarius, 2417 degrees. 8th house. The mind is a psychic sponge in a sea of poison, forced to confront the taboo. Every thought is filtered through the collective ooze, Pisces 11th, and then dragged into the Plutonian depths of the 8th house, sex, death, others' power. My pondering is not intellectual, it's a violation. Thinking about the acid trip isn't recollection. It's a redescent into the underworld where I saw the fractal geometry of my father's rage and my mother's fear woven into my own DNA. The explicit memory on that trip, I saw the sexual tension in my family not as a feeling, but as a thick, dark cord connecting my father's Aries fire to my mother's Sagittarian escapism, a cord that pulsed with a sick energy that felt like it had touched me, too. Pluto in the 8th square my Mercury. My mind has been sexually abused by the hidden dynamics of the family psyche. I didn't need to be touched to be fucked. The knowledge itself was the penetration. Chiron, Aquarius, 022 degrees, 10th house, conjunct MC, also known as midheaven, opposition, IC, Lilith. The public wound is the generational one etched into my career, my status, MC, and rooted in the absolute private hell of home, IC. Chiron conjunct my midheaven in Aquarius, my healing, my fame, my infamy is tied to breaking systems, to being the weird, wounded detransitioner, the addict, the queer experiment that went wrong. It opposes Lilith in Cancer conjunct the IC. The untamed, furious feminine, Lilith, is buried in the foundation of my home, IC, in the sign of the mother, Cancer. She was bound there by my mother's Virgo ascendant compliance, by my father's Aries dominance. I absorbed that bound Lilith like radiation. My sexuality became a Lilithian scream from the basement of my being. Chaotic, motherless, ravenous. The times I let men and women use me in backseats of cars parked by the Mississippi, that wasn't Venus. That was Lilith in Cancer trying to enact a perverted version of nurturing through the only power she felt she had. The raw, destructive power of the cunt. A fuck you to the father, a fuck you to the mother, who wouldn't claim her own wildness. It was dirty, gritty, often painful. I'd bite their shoulders hard enough to taste blood. A Lilith in Cancer offering. Here, this primal salt is the only mother's milk I have. Vertex, Libra, 2403 degrees, 6th house. Opposition North Node, also known as Rahu. Aries, 2519 degrees, retrograde in the 12th house. The Fatal Cross. The vertex, the point of fated encounters, sits in my 6th house of sickness and routine, conjunct Jupiter, square Saturn. My destiny is literally entangled with my addiction, my daily grind of poisoning and recovery. It opposes my North Node in Aries in the 12th. Every pill swallowed, every hit taken, was a fated step away from my soul's purpose, North Node. The North Node in the 12th, in Aries, calls for a solitary warrior's confrontation with the unconscious, to forge a self in the void, but my vertex in Libra in the 6th pulls me into fatal dances with others, Libra, through the medium of my own afflicted body, 6th. The one-night stands, the dealers, the toxic friends who held my hair back while I puked, all vertex figures, karmic accomplices in my self-undoing, teaching me through the relentless, grinding pathology of relationship as sickness. The final Piscean ponder. So what is the ponder? It's the slow motion understanding that the ocean I'm trying to become one with is made of my own piss and tears and blood and vomit. The 11th house Piscean dream of universal love is a lie when your Venus is conjunct Uranus. You will only ever experience love as a shocking, destabilizing force. The spiritual seeking is a trap when your Neptune in the 10th trines your Jupiter, expanded Libra moon. You will spiritualize your suffering, make a religion of your victimhood, and call the high holy. The answer isn't in the pondering. The answer is in the Aries North Node in the 12th. To stop trying to merge, to stop seeking peace through the body of another, to stop dissolving, to turn the Mars and Capricorn will, the same will that carved up my own flesh in transition and detransition inward into the solitary confinement of the 12th house, to become my own warden, my own god, my own fucking planet, to fight the last war alone, against the only enemy that ever mattered, the seductive, beautiful, annihilating pull of the Piscean deep. But tonight, the drain still calls. Its song is a Kids Bop cover of my favorite trauma, and my Libra moon still thinks it can find balance at the bottom of the bottle. The pondering is just the whirlpool slowing down for a second, showing me the geometry of my cage before the current takes me again. Thank you for watching. More to come. Alright, so I'm going to be filming a bunch of different videos, essentially exploring my literary work. So I've been writing so much these last few years about a bunch of different things, and I'm very excited to share these with you. So yeah, let's just jump right into it.